as the Cats opt for JJ Delaney at full-back and John Tennyson at wing-half. The side is captained by Henry Shefflin, who, like 3 other squad members, is bidding for his 7th All-Ireland medal. However, it's the same again for Tipperary, with 3 of today's starters playing in a 2nd All-Ireland final. Goalkeeper Brendan Cummins starred in 2001 against Galway, as did Owen Kelly and Lar Corbett. And while Cummins is the oldest playing in this final at 34, the youngest is 18-year-old Noel McGrath, picked at right corner forward. Tipperary have a couple of 20-year-olds among the backs, Pádraig Maher at number 3 and the unrelated Brendan Maher at left half-back. And now let's take a closer look at the 2009 finalists with Michael Duignan, and we're starting, Michael, with Kilkenny and TJ Ryan.
Yeah, he's been on the panel for a good few years and had to wait for his place. You know, this year is the first year Kilkenny had been letting in a few goals, so he's under a bit of pressure. He made a mistake the last day, so a little bit more pressure on the usual on the Kilkenny goalie.
Noel Hickey is an absentee, so it's the same full back line.
Yeah, it's a big call, I'm sure, to leave off a brilliant player like Noel Hickey, but I think this full back line have got better as the year has gone on. JJ is an outstanding form, and Michael Kavanagh playing in his 10th final, which is an incredible statistic.
Moving to the half-back line, where we've got 3 really gifted hurlers.
Very, very strong. Brian Hogan wasn't himself the last day, having been out for 3 months since the shoulder injury he got against Tipperary in the league final, but on paper looked very, very strong, though I think John Tennyson would be happier in the centre.
As in the Leinster final, then, it's Ling and Rice in midfield.
Yeah, a huge call for Kilkenny to leave off some of the ability of Fitzpatrick, but he had the months earlier in the year, and Brian Cody picks on form, powerful men in the middle field, and they have a big edge in physical size on the Tipperary counterparts.
There's an All-Ireland final debut for Richie Hogan. He's selected anyway at wing forward.
Yeah, I think you couldn't leave him off in the form he's shown. You know, he's been outstanding all year, waited patiently for his chance, showed a great attitude. I expect he'll be in the corner with Shefflin on the wing and Owen Larkin in the centre. Any
concerns then about how the inside forward line has been playing this year?
Yeah, I think Eddie Brennan recovered his form very well the last day against Waterford. Richie Power, big game for him, he was outstanding during the league, and Aidan Fogarty, a big match player, and you'll see plenty of rotation in there as well.
OK, let's switch the focus of attention now to Tipperary and to Brendan Cummins.
He's been around for a long, long time, outstanding serving to Tipperary, and he's crucial today. I think they can't tuck the ball long down on top of that Kilkenny half-back line, so his tactical nous is going to be tested today.
Michael, it's a largely inexperienced full-back line.
Well, Paul Curran's been around, but Paddy Stapleton and Pádraig Maher, new to them, first All-Ireland finals, as it is for Curran, but he has more experience, and, you know, they were a bit better the last day, but a lot of pressure, I think, on Stapleton in particular in the corner.
Now, because he's the youngest, do you think Kilkenny will target Brendan Maher there at left half?
I think there's no doubt they will. I expect Henry Shefflin to start on him. They have a habit of doing that, Kilkenny. They put Shefflin where they think the weakest link might be, and Maher's a great minor, but it's a huge step up today.
Into midfield, where the form of Woodlock and McGrath, I think, has been somewhat patchy.
Yeah, it has. They rely on their athleticism. You can see there from the stats, 5'10 and 5'11 against 2 huge physical men, so they're giving away stones and weight and inches in height, so they'll have to be at their very, very best, I think, to break even today.
Do you think Tip are any nearer to solving their problems with the half-forward line?
Well, I thought Kerwick and O'Brien were very solid all year. Callanan is in and out of the games. You know, he'll have to impose himself physically a lot more. He's a big man, and he did have that. It was him who injured Brian Hogan in the league final, and Hogan won't forget that, so expect a few fireworks there early on.
Absolutely. Well, if Tip are to win, this line will have to produce the goods.
They will, and they're outstanding players. Owen Kelly has defied the 10 barrier all year. He's been badly injured. Corbett's on fire, but Noel McGrath, to me, for his age, is the most complete hurler in many, many years, and a lot of pressure on them today, but I think they have the ability to score goals, and they'll have a big part to play today.
OK, Michael, thanks a lot. I can tell you that Kilkenny have won the toss, and they will play from left to right in the first half. Back to Michael.
Thank you, gentlemen, for the moment now. Just chatting to the panel here. You know, we were talking earlier on about the fact that Charles Fitzpatrick is missing from the Kilkenny team today. Had the mumps earlier in the season. Bit of a leg injury gathered during the week. So somebody like Gerard and Derek Ling, there will be a lot of responsibility on his shoulders today, along with obviously Michael Rice there.
I know he did deadly, but you couldn't drop Michael Rice. Michael Rice is absolutely brilliant all through the campaign and all through the league. He was fantastic in the league final. And I think bringing in Derek Ling is such a vital link man between the defence and the attack. He's a brilliant defender, and they have been conceding goals, and I think they have missed him. His covering back was always fantastic, and then he's a huge support, especially to Henry Shefflin, to lay on the ball to him, to put the ball over the bar. So I think they couldn't leave off Ling, even if Cha was fit. Ling playing so well in training, I always thought he was going to be on.
Yeah, there is the man in question, Tomas.
Yeah, I think Brian Cody's decision is putting him in there is trying to counteract James Woodlock and Shane McGrath, because they have a lot of pace and they like travelling with the ball and they like going forward. And Ling is a great man to get back, but he's also a great man to go forward himself, you know.
Yes.
And what he'll be trying to do is put those two Tipperary guys on the back foot. Every time that he gets the ball, he's bursting forward, and he can contribute points from midfield.
He reminds you a lot, Tomas, as well, of the old Kilkenny hurler called Frank Cummins. He's a powerhouse midfield. He throws his body around a lot. It isn't the fancy stuff he does. Like, he's from an Emeralds club, intermediate. They don't use him in the intermediate championship. But like, I tell you one thing, he's a man for the big day. And you'll find that if he can't give it for the full 70 minutes, he'll slip him off there. But he'll have his hard craft and work.
It's a matter of combining workhorses with real talent.
He complements the other
midfielders. He's a real workhorse.
We know the quality of the half forward line, Kilkenny, Owen Larkin and Henry Shefflin, but the other man that's there, Richie Hogan.
Well, he's the white hope since the last 3 or 4. He's a beautiful player, as Viola has picked up already. First touch brilliant in the league final, 110. He stepped up to the freeze when Henry went off that day. And like, he's a very good player. The match I saw him playing in training, he was immaculate. Now, he's picked wing forward, he could play anywhere. He's not the physical type of Comerford, but like he's a scorer.
He got 110 in the league final, right? And I'm just surprised that he's left Martin Comerford off the team, being honest with you, because Martin Comerford, he was man of the match in the Leinster final against Dublin. He's 6'3", 6'4". He can play centre forward. You could put him on the wing. You could put him in full forward. There is fierce flexibility with him, and like, I think maybe Brian Cody wants to attack this Tipperary team with the first 10 minutes with pace and stuff like that.
Do you expect Richie to be wing forward?
No, I don't expect him. No, he'll be in the corner and maybe at the break.
Go back to the league final. He was in full forward than Paul Curran.
Yes.
Paul Curran had been playing great. Now Paul Curran is out corner back.
Yes.
He's going to go in on Paul Curran because he got 1-3 from play of Paul Curran in a half an hour and won the game for Kilkenny.
But the reason I said about Martin Comerford is on the
he takes a lot of hard stuff.
I haven't seen Aidan Fogarty too much this year as being a starting forward, or I haven't seen Richie Power. I mean, Richie Power is a fantastic player, but he hasn't had the best of championships, you know. And for Martin Comerford, who was out
after the Leinster final,
you
when
know.
he scored 2-4,
What about the pressure on Conor O'Mahony today, centre back for Tipperary?
The pressure is on all Tipperary fellas.
Yes, it is.
I am afraid that Conor O'Mahony could be on Eddie Brennan, and Eddie Brennan could take him on a tour of Croke Park.
If he gets it up, he'll go running. That's what he'll do.
I think when Conor O'Mahony is faced with a strong man to man, he's very, very good. But when he's dragged out his position by a fast player, then he can get into trouble. And what do you do with Eddie? Do you follow him or do you hold your position? And if you do follow him, if you don't follow him, if you hold your position, then you must have somebody else selected to follow Eddie, because you cannot let Eddie Brennan lose. But I'm sure Liam Sheedy has thought of all of this. He's a great player. He's coming back into full form. He had the mumps at the start of the year. He will hold the centre.
But I mean, that will suit Tipperary if Eddie Brennan's gone to centre forward, because whereas Eddie Brennan, the biggest threat, is in around the goal. But we've seen for the last All-Ireland finals who's been the man that's put the ball in the back of the net.
That's very true.
Eddie Brennan.
We know the quality of the Kilkenny number 11, Henry Shefflin, obviously. What about the Tip number 11?
Yeah, well, like, he's a great enigma even in Tipperary hurling, because
Seamus
is different to the usual Tipperary centre forward. He's not big and not strong, but he's very good in the air. He's strong enough for using, but he plays unusual centre forward. In the sense, he'll dip out to midfield, he'll dip left, dip right, and he does a lot of running from centre forward into the full forward line for a cross ball. Now, he won't be standing under the ball and winning. But after saying that, the last in the league final when they met, he took it was a fair tackle. He took Hogan out of the game. But I think today, Tomas, the interesting is this: Kilkenny, we know what they're going to do. The 6 backs will lie back tight, midfield will go back a bit to the half back line, half forward and come out a bit, and full forward come out to half forward. And I think Tip will do the same thing. And whoever gets in front, the other team is going to have to change.
Okay, well, now it's time for the introduction of Ultra here, Mary McAleese, who is accompanied by her husband. You can see just behind there, Martin, and of course Christy Cooney, president of the GAA, as they take the salute.
Well, the turn now of President McAleese to meet the teams. The pre-match ceremonial, I suppose, a well-defined part of the afternoon's choreography. President McAleese, accompanied by GAA President Christy Cooney, and our aide-de-camp, by the way, is Captain Murty Larkin, who's a nephew of Mickey the Rattler Byrne. And straight away it's Henry Shefflin's turn, deputising Henry, of course, for Michael Fennelly, the nominated captain today. The President will know these Kilkenny fellows pretty well by now. For the Uachtaráin of Commonwealth class well behind her, it's the first All-Ireland semi-final, of course, in his 3-year presidency. And that's Aidan Fogarty there, and the President will now meet the referee as well, and the officials. Diarmuid Kerwin is the referee, now based in Ovens. Michael Wadding James Owens will be his linesman. Alan Kelly, the silent official. The umpires are Brendan O'Leary, Dennis O'Brien, Liam O'Leary, and there's Noel Toomey there as well. And now the turn of Tipperary. Conor O'Mahony leading them into battle in the absence of Willie Ryan. Strange to have two captains who are not the originally selected captains in charge of the two teams this afternoon. And it's the end of a decade where President McAleese has seen Tipperary win the McCarthy Cup just once, while Kilkenny, of course, have finished All-Ireland final day triumphant on 6 occasions. Cork, the other winners, back-to-back in 04 and 05. So Conor O'Mahony now introducing Noel McGrath there, the 18-year-old. Owen Kelly has been here before, and there's Lar Corbett as well. The big question is who will win the 10th final of the opening decade of the 21st century.
Sure, we don't know the answer to that. Obviously, at this stage, 5 minutes' time, the action will begin. But one thing that I can tell you is that the rain has staved off for the moment here at Croke Park, and that's good news in itself. So who will be putting their hands on that cup, whether it's up in the Hogan stand or down the pitch or wherever the presentation will eventually be made. Our panel here are going to give us their final thoughts. Tomás Mulcahy.
Well, I think the best game of hurling we've seen this year was the National Hurling League final between these two sides. The referee, again, will have a big bearing on today. I hope he lets it go the way he did in that match, because hurling needs it, right? I think Kilkenny, I've picked them from the start of the year, that they will have the overall strength to win this game, you know, but I would expect the mother of all battles from Tipperary, from the very early. And if they do manage to get a good start, to get goals past Kilkenny, they're in the driving seat then, you know. But I mean, I would think overall experience, big match day, All-Ireland final day, been here for the last 3 years, it's Kilkenny for me.
Sure.
Well, we all know what they expect from Kilkenny. You know, the dogs in the street are saying Kilkenny are going to win the 4 in a row because, you know, of the great traits they have and rightly deserve over the last 3 or 4 years. Right, how will Tip cope with the situation? How will they cope with the big occasion? The last 2 teams that came here didn't. How will the defence cope with the brilliant Kilkenny forward line? 2 midfielders, big questions over those. The wing forwards, will they gain enough possession? All question marks. But in spite of all that, I still think Tip has something extra in the bag. They've improved from game to game, and without any provisos, I'm going to go for Tip to win the game.
Well, in actual fact, Gerard, this game is in a kind of way set up a little bit for Tipperary. You know, everybody is clapping Kilkenny on the back, this great Kilkenny team, which of course they are. Tip will bring their tradition here today and say we have another thought
they'll bring their tradition, they'll bring their natural confidence, being in finals. Yeah. They're not going to be overawed by the situation, I think. Now, the big thing I think is I saw a huge improvement for Tip in the semi-final, especially that half-hour line in winning possession. That's the key area. Will that half-hour line win enough possession? I think they will. I just have the feeling that Tipperary are going to produce something really, really special today. And if they do, what a game we're going to have.
Sir Farrell, you with the casting vote.
Yeah, well, I really think Brian Cody put the cat on the pigeons picking his team. And he took away all complacency. When you take off the likes of Cha and the likes of Comfort off the team that most Kilkenny people thought would be on. Cha walked up the steps last year. Comfort has been man of the match many times this year. Take off both of them. It shows that he's telling others, listen, E15 are getting the honour of leading Kilkenny to an unprecedented 4 in a row. If you're not doing the job, someone else is going to come on, and I think that's what keeps them fresh. Everyone's trying to say that they should be going over the top, but they haven't shown any signs of it. Okay, they're not blowing teams out by 30 or 40 points, but they're beating teams that are in front of them. And I see they've yet to do this year, and I have a feeling that today could be D-Day for them. And if they win today, they'll go down as not great, and then it's going to be hard to stop them for 5. But we have the 2 best teams there. We're going to have a great game. But I think Kilkenny will still get through.
It's the All-Ireland Hurling Final of 2009. Back to the commentary box then to rejoin Gerard Canning and Michael Dignan.
Michael, it's the 121st All-Ireland Hurling Final in this, the 125th year of the GAA. Kilkenny, as you know, going for that 4 in a row. And among their ranks today, by the way, if you go and look at the number 2 for them, who is Michael Kavanagh, well, Michael's already had a very, very big week because Michael's wife Hazel gave birth to their first child on Thursday last, a boy named Charlie. So the news for the Kilkenny selectors is that there's a young man called Charlie Kavanagh. He's 4 days old. More importantly, he's underage for minor for the next 18 years. So congratulations to Michael and to Hazel, his wife. The Artane Band as well, back from Boston. They've been celebrating over there the 50th anniversary of the GAA board in North America. They were feted over there as well, I'm told. And from now on, September the 2nd is going to be known as Artane Day in America, in Boston. So the pre-match ceremonial has come to a conclusion. It's time for the anthem on All-Ireland Hurling Final Day. It's the final most people have wanted to see for the past couple of years. Tip have certainly longed for it, and now Kilkenny have the chance to complete their absolute domination of hurling in this country. Michael Dignan alongside me.
Yeah, Ger, and straight away the changes I expected. Owen Larkin gone centre forward, Richie